Dartmoor National Park, probably best known for its ponies and the infamous prison. But the moorland landscape, with its deep valleys, imposing granite tors and rapidly changing weather, give it a uniqueness that just cannot be rivalled. It was here in southwest England that Dartmoor girl, adventurer and photographer Tracey Elliot-Reep grew up on a farm. Being dyslexic, she found overcoming learning difficulties at school very challenging, but subsequently Tracey has courageously embarked on incredible solo journeys with no backup but her horses as companions.
How long have you been riding, Tracey?
I really remember, but 2 or 3 at least. And then the first long ride I did, well, it wasn't actually that long because it was only 4 days around Dartmoor. I was 16, and my elder sister and myself, we sewed 2 Hessian sacks together, put all our camping gear in and put it on the pack pony.
Oh, wow.
And we headed off. But you know, after that, I don't know exactly why, I wanted to do long distance riding again because the pack pony either refused to move or charged off, emptying the contents of the pack across the moor.
Oh, fun.
It was. Well, this is where I grew up, in this beautiful place. Playing and riding these super Dartmoor ponies, following my mother's, Elizabeth's, passion for the ponies. I wasn't much good at school because I had difficulty with reading and writing.
Yes, when you were very young, nobody else could understand you, but I could.
Well, Mum, we got the passion from you.
Yes, well, Dartmoor ponies have been a great part of my life, played a great part of my life, and preserving them for the future generations so that they still remain on Dartmoor and people can still come and see them.
But I did love art, although the art history teacher said I couldn't do the exam because my English was too poor. After school I applied to do a fine art degree course but got turned down, so instead I joined a travelling circus with my sketchbook. Then it led on to a lot of different jobs, from teaching horse riding in North America to milking cows in Israel. And then I found out what I really wanted to do when I went to photography college in South Wales, and I could combine my love of photography with animals and horses. I look back on my life and I see how God was directing my steps even before I asked Jesus into my heart in Jerusalem. So this is where I grew up, playing cowboys and Indians. One day I was a cowboy with my smoking pistol, and the next I've been Indian with a bow and arrow. I fell off so many times, too many times to count, usually in gorse bushes when my Dartmoor pony swerved to avoid it. I started my business up under Bone Hill there 20 years ago, and it was really through faith and hard work and perseverance that the business has grown. Because when I started up underneath Bone Hill, I lived in a caravan with my Jack Russell dog, and I started with 6 postcards and really not much money at all.
So far, Tracey has completed 4 marathon rides on 3 separate continents.
For an impacting start, I was going to jump my horses into the Rio Grande River, which forms the border between Mexico and the United States of America. But when I found out there was a $5,000 fine or a year imprisonment, I thought, oh, that would delay the ride a bit. So instead, I found a deep part to swim the horses through. Riding through America, the Wild West, over several thousand miles was a fabulous adventure. A dream come true, a dream I had as a child while riding Dartmoor ponies on the moor. There were many dangers. In the south, there was rattlesnakes, spiky cactus and drug smugglers. And then I rode up into the Rocky Mountains, over 10,000 feet, where I'd have frost on my tent every night in the middle of summer, and there'd be bears and mountain lions. Well, my horses come from East Texas and they weren't used to wild animals, so when we had a close encounter, they would be off in a shot. What an amazing adventure God gave me, riding through just awesome, stunning landscape and meeting wonderful people. It reminds me of Ephesians 3:20. God can do immeasurably more than we dare ask think, or even imagine according to the power that works within us. And his faithfulness is higher than the clouds.
Hi, this is Callum and Kingsman, who I brought from a Scotsman who said, "You've got enough budget, lassie." And I rode them from the top of Scotland to Land's End. It was great to see some of my own country. Then I had to get back to business to earn enough to go off again, this time to Southern Ireland. I hadn't been to Ireland before. I met many good people, including Jerry from County Cork. I couldn't understand a word he said until I got tuned in. We rode to horse fairs and horse races. It was great fun. The Irish and their horses are famous. They really have quite a laid-back attitude over there. And it makes me think of Nehemiah 8:10, you know, the joy of the Lord is our strength, and how we can tend to be too serious all about life, and we need to lighten up a bit.
Yeah.
As you see, New Zealand is spectacular. I did another ride through New Zealand, this time on 2 palominos. One of them was completely unsuitable because she was so nervous. But when I said no to her, she looked at me and she said, "Please take me." So I did. And she became one of my most loyal horses that I have. She took me through really deep, dangerous rivers in the South Island. And we went on to win a beach race against the Maoris in the North Island. We also won $70 for being the furthest away. And I wasn't sure if it was because we'd ridden from the South Island or that I came from England. I've ridden through New Zealand twice. On the first journey, I arrived with a friend, £60 and a dream. And Psalm 37 verse 4, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he gives you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to him, trust in him, and he will do it." The Kiwis joked, "Oh, you two pommy Sheilas will never do it." But we replied, "All things are possible with God." And every time I get to tell this story, my own faith is encouraged. Last year, across southern Europe, from near Athens all the way to northwest Spain, on 2 Greek horses. Would you like to come and meet one of them?
Wonderful.
Hey, Joanna! Her and her bay companion, Hermes, we travelled all the way across hot Greece, northern Italy, over the Alps into Switzerland, climbing the mountains again into France, down through France, over the Pyrenees and across northwest Spain to Santiago, which is the old pilgrim trail, and then on to Finisterre. It was a pretty tough ride, actually, one of the most challenging ones. It was the weather, the heat, the traffic, the huge cities that we had to cross through, and also the language, because every time we went over a little bit of water or across the mountain, we had to speak another language. But God is faithful, because this assignment was probably the toughest. But God gives his angels charge over us to guard us in all our ways, you know, of obedience and service. And we got through, and we're all still alive. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We've had about 3 or 4 new Dartmoor pony foals this week.
Wonderful.
So pretty. Such a diverse pony, from being a great children's pony to carriage driving to even in history they were used as pack ponies, taking the tin off the moor.
Wow. So they're strong yet gentle.
Yeah, they're just perfect for children. They make great cowboy and Indian ponies too. I have this dream to set up children's therapy centres around the world
Wow.
using these Dartmoor ponies. Breathe in here a bit, okay? And you're gonna mow my lawn for me. Give it to me.
So where next, you may ask? With Tracey, there's always got to be another adventure in sight.
Yes, of course, there are always new adventures and dreams to be had. One is to set up Dartmoor pony centres around the world, helping children, and at the same time they'll help the survival of the Dartmoor pony, which is now a rare breed. I believe we've all got a master plan
for our lives. Whether we follow it or not, well, that's up to us to decide. But as for me, I'm going to follow my dreams. So I'll see you later then.
We encourage you to learn more about Tracey's exciting journeys through books and greeting cards which finance her adventures. Also by logging on to www.traceylliot-reep.com.